Hello and welcome to another episode of Comic Book Reviews. If you love comics as much as I do, you're going to subscribe to my channel. I review comics for Comic Crusaders. I also have my own franchises, Adolescent Radioactive Samurai Platypi and Carl Vincent Vampire Hunter. They're available on Comics Central, Indie Planet, and Comixology. Check them out. Stay tuned to this broadcast for more information. Also, like the Facebook pages for each franchise for more information. Check out my Patreon site for some neat original artwork and shows that you won't find on YouTube. Hello, true believers. Kevin Given once again with Comic Book Reviews. And today we're going to look at Detective Comics number 995. 5 issues till the big 1000. This issue has an incredibly dramatic opening. Batman is cradling a poisoned Leslie Tompkins. He's calling Alfred and instructing him to have the antitoxin on hand when he arrives. I'm not going to reveal Leslie's fate here, of course. Suffice to say that it's a clever opening to an important issue. Someone who knows Bruce Wayne and Batman intricately is using images from our hero's past to attack those who are closest to him. Looking at the creative team, Peter J. Tomasi gets us into Bruce Wayne's psyche, and we go deep inside the mind of the Caped Crusader. We're drawn into this tale because we need to know which of the Dark Knight's rogues gallery could be setting up these elaborate results. Maybe it's not a villain we know. It could be someone new to Gotham. This is a great setup for a potentially awesome story. Just like Brian Michael Bendis has done with Superman, Tomasi has taken a character that's been around for about 80 years and making the stories fresh and dynamic. This will be only the second hero to make it to 1,000 issues successively. And to think, DC almost canceled this title at one time. And the build-up looks to be bringing us a promising millennial celebration. Great stuff includes the stranger at the door we're led to believe is Commissioner Gordon. Is he or isn't he? Also, Leslie's encouraging advice to Bruce. Eminem, no, not the rapper, the artists, have a brutal style that works so well for this tale of Gotham's worst element. If Metropolis emphasizes the American dream, then Gotham is America's nightmare, which keeps Batman on his edge. All of this comes out with a dynamic duo of Doug and Jamie. They give Gotham its own personality, and it's a dark one. Highlights include the opening splash with Batman holding Leslie. Also, the flashback scenes of young Bruce interacting with Leslie, mixed with the modern-day imagery. In conclusion, someone is opening up several cans of worms that I bet Bruce wants to keep closed. The walk through Arkham Asylum lets us eliminate several of Batman's rogues galleries as suspects. The setup leads us to suspect one villain, but the end result of the story makes us question whether it's actually that person. Batman's walk through Arkham Asylum brings us to the cell of to be continued. Got 4.5 stars from this comic book reviewer, a 9.6 rating. The writer was Peter J. Tomasi. The art was from Doug Mahnke and Jamie Mendoza. Colors by David Barron. Letters Rob Lee. And of course the publisher was DC Comics. Now I'd like to review another comic book, Van Helsing's Sword of Heaven number 3. Liesl is after the fabled sword, which will supposedly end vampirism. While on this noble quest, she learns that she isn't the only one after the famous blade. She encounters all sorts of miscreants that want to obtain this precious scimitar. Will she be able to find the weapon before one of her opponents? Read on. Looking at the creative team, Chuck Dixon opens this issue with Ancient Dara and our fearless vampire hunter walking through the desert on the way to the next town. The banter is clever and rich between our heroines. Dixon creates a female buddy story not unlike Thelma and Louise in these opening pages. He keeps the tension strong as the ladies are running out of water in the scorching heat. Dixon keeps us reading by making us care about the protagonists as they face the desert heat and possible heat stroke. Great stuff includes the secret behind what happens to a group of tourists and the revelation from one of the tourists that Van Helsing, by her very existence, has set unknown forces in motion. Julius Abrera gives us some great action scenes and pays close attention to detail, which any artist would have to do in a successful horror action title. It's always a thrill watching Van Helsing leap into action, and Abrera puts some strong obstacles in our heroine's way, leaping onto rooftops and finding a much-needed rifle to take on the issue's antagonists. Highlights include the explosion which sends Liesl into another panel, and the pages which show how she gets the tourists to play into her hands. In conclusion, Van Helsing fans will be happy with this issue. Not too much is revealed here, but the stuff that is revealed is important to the story. The chemistry between Van Helsing and Agent Dara is the real strength of this issue, even as Liesl can't deal with Dara's attempts at forcing a friendship. They need each other, even if Van Helsing doesn't like to admit it. The setup for the next issue leaves us wanting more. 3.5 stars from this comic book reviewer with an 8.8 rating. If you love comics as much as I do, you're going to subscribe to my channel. I review comics for Comic Crusaders. I also have my own franchises, Adolescent Radioactive Samurai Platypi and Carl Vincent Vampire Hunter. They're available on Comics Central, Indie Planet, and Comixology. Check them out. Stay tuned to this broadcast for more information. Also, like the Facebook pages for each franchise for more information. Check out my Patreon site for some neat original artwork and shows that you won't find on YouTube. And that was our look at comic book reviews for this week. Until next time, this is Kevin Gibbons saying so long and keep reading those comics.